Hello, this is Brian J, and this is my review of the Halo TV series that just premiered on Paramount Plus today. The premiere was a good, solid episode. The action was great. The visuals were really good. The production value was good. Um, there were some changes in the show adaptation. And again, this is my non-spoiler review of the show. I'm not going to spoil anything. There were some changes overall that I didn't like, but I understood why they were done. These were changes that were done for a bigger audience that's bigger than just the gamers. Like, the games have sold well and they're all very successful, and the Halo is the primary reason to why the Xbox exists and why the Xbox is so successful. But these are changes that were made for people who are watching a show who've never played a game, who want to get into Halo, and that is okay. Some of the changes were good. Some of the changes I didn't like, that didn't appeal to me, and that's okay. But the one thing I have to remember is that, you know, to just look at this as an adaptation, and like 343 Studios said, they announced, I think back in December or January, that this is the Silver Timeline. And the Silver Timeline is a timeline that is very different from the main timeline of Halo, which is all 6 of the video games, all the tie-in novels, the other different shows that were connected to the games. That's all the main timeline, the Silver Timeline. They decided to call it a different timeline because the writers and the showrunners realized that we're going to be taking some liberties here. We're going to change some stuff. And for it to be appealing to a big show that's going to be on a major network, because originally this show was supposed to be on Showtime, and then it got moved to Paramount Plus. So the fact that it was going to be on like a network that has its own network channel before being on a streaming service is proof that they were trying to make this show as big as possible for a worldwide audience. So some changes I didn't like, but the action was good. The filmmaking was very intense and very gritty and pretty dark, and I like that aspect. I think Pablo Schreider, I think that's how you say his last name, who plays Master Chief, is great. He has really strong screen presence. He has good dramatic range. I did love him on Orange is the New Black. He was on Orange is the New Black for a number of seasons before he got onto this show. So that's cool. He's also the brother to Leah Schreiber, who was on a Showtime show called Ray Donovan for 7 seasons, and the movie finale for that show. And so that's good. Pablo Schreider, he's a good actor. There's an actress named Charlie Murphy who was in the first season of The Last Kingdom. She plays the main human villain who's working with the Covenant. And in the games and the books, the Covenant doesn't work with humans at all. So that's another big change. That's a big change and that they've made. But I'm not going to spoil the big change they made towards the end of the episode, which really, really bothered me. But again, this is a good episode. It sets everything up for the season in a good way, even though it was very generic and very derivative, and basically is just a clone of Star Wars and The Mandalorian and Frank Herbert's Dune to a degree. But overall, the technical aspect, the production value is what made it a good watchable episode. But there are some changes I didn't like, but I'm very intrigued. And I'm excited for the next 8 episodes, because season 1 has 9 episodes in total. So that is my non-spoiler review for the pilot episode for the Halo TV series, and I give this episode a 7 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 for me, and this is Brian J signing off for now.